Storybook 1, Chuggington, Clunky Wilson. Based on the episode Clunky Wilson, written by Sarah Ball and Kate Fox. One day, Chuggington trainees Wilson, Coco, and Brewster were ready to have a race. Suddenly, they heard some horrible sounds coming from the repair shed. Clunk, clink, clang. "What's that noise?" Wilson asked, his voice a bit wobbly. Coco dared him to go and look, but Wilson wouldn't. "Toot toot! Chugger approaching," called Emery, a cheeky white train. "Hey, what y'all doing?" "Wilson's too scared to find out what the sounds from the repair shed are," teased Coco. "Puffer Pete was inside there for a whole week once," Emery said. "They took all his wheels off." Wilson gasped. He never wanted to go to the repair shed. "Honk, honk! Let's race," said Coco. "Last one to the bumpers has square wheels. Ready, set, go!" Speedy Coco zoomed off, but Wilson was determined to beat her for once. "I can do it," he cried. Meanwhile, poor Brewster began to puff. He just couldn't keep up with the others. Chugga chugga choo choo! Coco slowed down as she neared the bumpers at the end of the track. But Wilson didn't see them. He tried to stop, but it was too late. Screech! Crash! Wilson crashed into the bumpers. As he reversed, his wheels made a terrible noise. Something was wrong. Just then, V made an announcement. "Attention, please. Wilson, Brewster, and Coco to the loading yard." "Well, hey," said Wilson excitedly. "It's training time." But as Wilson followed Coco and Brewster to the depot, his wheels made a scraping sound. Scrape, scrape. "Oh, I think your wheel has dropped off, Wilson," Emery teased from the overhead truck. Emery was just joking, but Wilson shuddered. He didn't want to go to the repair shed. In the loading yard, Wilson buckled up to a boxcar. His wheels were still making funny noises. Clunkety clunk. "What was that?" asked Dunbar. "Sorry, got a little tickle in my engine," said Wilson, pretending to cough. He knew Dunbar would send him to the repair shed if he thought something was really wrong. V sent the 3 trainee chuggers to take some things from the farm to the fair. Coco loaded her boxcar with eggs. Brewster took some vegetables, and Wilson got the cream. Felix the farmer asked Wilson if he could ride with him to the fair too. He was hoping his cream would win a prize, but the journey was so bumpy. Rattle, rattle. Poor Felix spilled his carton of juice. It was no good. Wilson couldn't ignore his problem any longer. He would have to go to the repair shed. The red chugger shakily followed his friends back to the depot. Clunkety clank. In the repair shed, Morgan the mechanic put Wilson on the rotator so he could look underneath him. "You're really brave," Morgan told Wilson. "Most chuggers are too nervous the first time they have to get fixed." That made Wilson feel better, and soon Morgan had mended Wilson's broken suspension spring. Wilson was as good as new. Later that day, V called Wilson back to the fair to collect Felix. Felix told Wilson that the bumpy ride shook the cream up so much that it was really thick. Wilson felt terrible. Instead, the judges thought it was the most delicious butter they had ever tasted, said Felix. Wilson beamed with pride as Felix placed his first prize rosette on him. "But next time there's something wrong with me, I'm going straight to the repair shed."